Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Amar bin Salim. I belong to the marketing team at the Office of Advancement at LUMS. It is once again a great privilege for me to be hosting the Knowledge Week webcast series for Suleiman Dawood School of Business. And we have finally come to the last day of our Knowledge Week webcast series for SDSB. If you have been following the conversation, you would know that we, during the last week and in the past few days, we have been, conducting webcasts for multiple different programs offered at Suleiman Dawood School of Business. So during the last week, we connected with you for accounting and analytics program, the business and public policy program. We talked to you about the healthcare management and innovation degree, then technology management and entrepreneurship, and also the supply chain and retail management program. This week, we have already met with you for the MBA Master of Business Administration program, MS Financial Management degree, and the PhD management degree that is being offered at SDSB. And today we'll talk about the final program, that is the Executive MBA offered at Suleiman Dawood School of Business. Now, all of you know that SDSB, or Suleiman Dawood School of Business, is the first and the only business school in the country to have scored the elevated, very prestigious AACSB accreditation. And that is an accolade, that is an achievement that, groups us with the top 5% of the world's most remarkable, most astounding, most influential business schools in the world. Now today, and as I've already mentioned multiple times during my previous webcast, we will talk to you about multiple things. The main idea is to converse with you and solve any problems that you may have. All right. So over the whole Knowledge Week webcast series, we have conversed with you with regards to the admission criteria for our programs, the important dates that you must remember, how your career could look like once you graduate, what's LUMS life going to look like once you join us, and how LUMS is going to be a very transformative journey for you. And again, inshallah, we'll be talking about the same things, and also we'll include your questions. And I'm going to talk to our faculty member, alumna, and current students about the question that you will raise. So again, I'm greatly honored to be in the presence of Dr. Shakil Sadiq Jajja, who is an associate professor at Suleiman Dawood School of Business, and he is also the director for the Executive MBA program and also for the Supply Chain Retail Management program offered at the MS level. We have Mr. Chen, who is currently pursuing his Executive MBA at LUMS. And we will be joined by Ms. Zara Rizvi, who is a LUMS executive alumna. She completed her degree in 2021 and is serving as Deputy General Manager at Grana.com. So thank you very much, Dr. Shakil Chen, for joining us today.
Thank you, Amar, for having us.
Hello everyone. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure indeed. Dr. Shakil, I'm going to start with you, as I always do. You know the drill. Again, requesting you to please start with the introduction of the program and also talk about how the program has been structured in 2 years.
Thank you, Amar. So Executive MBA program is a 2 years long program. This is the program that we have for those individuals who are at a stage of their career where they are moving towards more senior and top management roles in their organizations. And they find out that they want education in business that gives them a holistic and comprehensive understanding of how businesses work. So generally, the individuals who come in this program are coming from specific domains, for example, supply chain or retailing or finance or human resource management or sales. But as they progress to senior positions in their organizations, they don't only need skills and capabilities to manage their own functions, they also need to have full understanding of how businesses work and how other domains of businesses work than the domains that they have specialized in last years that they have been working with. Also, we sometimes get sponsorship from organizations of the employees that they want to fast track in their organizations, and they think that business education and a comprehensive understanding of how business works is required in them to be developed. So this is a program that seeks to help those individuals grow faster in their organizations or other organizations that they aspire to work in. And even also if they want to move on to some other sectors as well. So this MBA program helps you make that journey more, makes you more effective in making that transition.
Exactly, Dr. Jaja. And Dr. Jaja, I'm also going to make sure that the point that I'm going to talk about now, I include Chen and then Zara, a part of our discussion, but I also like to take your input as well. That how do you think the whole ecosystem of the executive MBA class supports this idea that a person who maybe is working in a certain sector right now could go and change the sector and pursue a different career line, pursue a different, industry? How does the diversity in the program allows that?
Yeah, so Amar, this is a very good question. So see, in our typical classroom, we have around 11 to 12 years of average experience. And that experience is in different domains and different industries. So in a typical class, you can expect people coming from banking, manufacturing, automobile, oil sector, oil and gas, public sector organizations, entrepreneurs, agriculture businesses, and I mean, a vast variety of industries are represented in a typical class in our executive MBA program. And all of them have spent on average 11 to 12 years in their industry. So they have a lot of understanding of what is going on in each of the industry that they are representing. So you can imagine the power that you will have if you have 35 or 40 individuals who are coming from so many different industries with depth in those industries. So the kind of conversation you can have with them helps you understand that what is going on in other organizations and also in other industries. And that helps you navigate that how you can progress in the industry that you are already in, or if you want to move to another industry, what is that is required or you already have, or what you need to develop in you to make that transition.
Exactly, Dr. Jaja. Thank you so much. And I've had the pleasure of meeting many of our current students and our alumni who are, placed in multiple different industries, multiple different very impactful organizations. And I see the kind of change that they go through during their executive MBA period. One of the best things about this program is, again, the academic diversity. So I was going through a couple of stats while I was preparing for a presentation for executive MBA a couple of days back, and I figured that many of the executives who join us, most of them, or maybe 50% of them, have backgrounds in engineering. Some of them come to us with backgrounds in computers, then in education, then multiple different areas. So executive MBA is the kind of degree that is open to people from different academic backgrounds and people who might be wanting to pursue a different industry and a different career line as well. So thank you, Dr. Jaja. I'm seeing Zara has come. Thank you so much, Zara, for taking time out and being with us today.
Assalamu alaikum ji. I hope you're doing very well.
Walaikum assalam ji. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Zara, you've joined us again. There's a question for you. What were some of the major changes that you witnessed in your own personality, if you were to compare yourself once you joined at the time that you joined us and when you graduated?
Okay, so I am among those very blessed ones in the executive MBA program that have gotten a leap in terms of career as well as my personal development. So right after I got done with my executive MBA, I got a role as general manager HR in Grana, which is a real estate company. And of course, a very important contribution was to my executive MBA because they were looking for someone who could look at the strategic side. And because I had sort of, gained that experience during my executive MBA program, so that really added up to the entire thing. Moving on to how the executive MBA program actually tames you and frames you as a person, it's just, something that cannot be described as in words. Because if I look at myself 2 years, how I was as a person in terms of decision making, in terms of, executions, the leadership style, that is what the executive MBA program actually, at different stages during those programs, you see yourself developing in areas that you felt you had, but you never actually thought of, implementing and practicing them in the real workplace. So I think that was a great contribution. Communication, of course, the CP war really makes a big difference in improving your communication. So that's something that's, that's partial, but then again, you start thinking very strategically. There's a very calculated effort in terms of your communication. You become very to the point, precise. And whatever you talk about is actually, something that's completely full of content. So I think those are the things at the mid-level career. This is what people really feel is missing. And this is what executive MBA really fills in.
Okay, and Zara, let me know if I understood correctly that during your program, you changed your position and your organization as well. And then during the program, you joined Grana.
No, post my program. Like I graduated and a month later, I was offered this position. So, like I'm putting all my executive MBA teachings over here in my current role, which is even more fascinating.
I see. Okay. And do you think that LUMS MBA gave you a specific advantage over different other MBAs and executive MBAs from other universities?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you come again?
So what I'm trying to say is that do you think that pursuing and graduating from LUMS, from Salman Daud School of Business with the executive MBA gave you made you some sort of a priority candidate?
In terms of priority, see, Amar, I think every student within the class, we were a class of 45 to 50 students. So, the best part about the program is that everyone within the class gets preferential treatment. So no one in the class is given a little treatment, based on my gender. Generally, this is something diversity and inclusion has been the talk of town. But the reason we felt really comfortable in our setting was that no one was given preferential treatment over the other. Everyone was just treated the same way. And primarily that is the reason that gave us more room to improve, because we knew that whatever it is, we have to get up to that level in order to compete well in class. So yes, I already had an MBA before. So, executive MBA as compared to my regular MBA was a totally different experience because of the networking, because of the exposure, and, the Silicon Valley trip again. That was another experience altogether.
Thank you, Zara, for such great insights. I have a couple of more questions for you, and then there are numerous questions coming in from our social media team as well. Now I'd like to go to Chen. Chen, thank you once again for being with us. It would be great if you could talk about your own academic background first, and also how has your experience been so far with the LUMS Executive MBA program, and how do you think this degree will help you in your own domain?
Okay, sure. So first off, I'm a Chinese. I graduated from a China Engineering University. It's called Tianjin University. It's one of the best engineering universities in China, and my background is actually mechanics. My major in mechanics. Then I come to Pakistan by 2015. I come with my company, which is a state-owned company. We are doing the power plant EPC construction here in Pakistan. So I was sent here as the country representative. Then I started to work here, and by the year 2019, I feel like maybe it's time for me to go forth further study, because first of all, I feel like most people here talk about all these marketing things, which is a little bit far from my job, because as an engineering company, all your job is mostly construction, and you're not dealing with all this marketing strategy. And what about something like supply chain? It's not about the commodity. So I decided to join LUMS because there's some Chinese friends. First of all, it's Fu Da, who has graduated. He used to work for Zong, and we used to be friends and talk about this. And then another good friend is Sunny Yang. She is the CEO of TCL. And after their influence and introduce, I start to visit LUMS and to get more to know about this program.
Exactly. Okay. Chen, I have a question. LUMS is and SDSB is the only AACSB accredited institute in Pakistan, business school in Pakistan. Do you think, did it have any role to play in you choosing LUMS for your executive MBA?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying that LUMS is the only CSB accredited institute in Pakistan. So while you were
Yes.
going through the profiles of different universities, do you think LUMS being CSB accredited had any role to play in you opting for LUMS for your executive MBA?
You mean how LUMS program influenced my career life?
Yeah, how did you decide that I'm going to go to LUMS? Did the CSB accreditation had any role to play?
Yeah, I mean, LUMS have changed my life and changed my perception about my career, because before this, my life is quite, let's say, I can see the end of my lifetime, how I can work for the same position, maybe get promoted for one more level or two more level. And after studying LUMS, I start to get more insight into the investment and how to improve myself from different perspectives, such as, I'm about to start my own business with some of friends to do some investment and maybe open a restaurant in Lahore, and to use all the skills I studied in LUMS. Sorry, there's a very strong background.
No problem, Sahil,
Someone
no problem.
speaking.
No problem, not at all. Again, I'd like to remind our audience that this program is being done for you. So if you have any questions right now is the right opportunity to ask those questions. We have Dr. Chiki Kacha and Mr. Chen with us who will be answering the questions. I have got one that has come from Mara. And the question is, I'm very sorry, I got put on mute. So I was saying before that I've got a question from Amara, and she's saying, please let us know if there are any other entry tests other than GMAT or the NTS. So you could either go for GMAT or you could go for NTS GAT, and then you could also go for GRE. That is entirely up to you. And we'll also be talking about the admission criteria in a couple of minutes. Dr. Jaja, again, I'd request that you please talk about the admission criteria that we have put in place for the executive MBA program, and also talk about the perfect candidate. Who, in your opinion, would be a perfect candidate for the LUMS executive MBA program?
Thank you, Amar. So admissions criteria in executive MBA is like this. So we look for diversity in our classroom. So therefore, we look for individuals with diverse backgrounds. So we have, as you were saying earlier, we have people coming from law background, engineering, medicine, computer science, social sciences, business backgrounds. All of these backgrounds are relevant for the program. And the second thing that we look at is the experience. So minimum 6 years of experience when you apply to executive MBA program. Average experience. So that means that minimum is 6 years, but if you have more experience, that is valued. And also we look at the quality of experience in terms of the understanding that the candidate has gained during the years of work, the achievements of the candidate during their work life, and what is that they can bring in the classroom, what is their experience that can teach the candidates class fellows. So we don't only look for their longevity of experience, we also look for the quality of experience. And the third thing is then interview. In interview, we look for the person's ability to communicate and articulate ideas, and then show us that this person or this candidate is somebody who should be in our executive MBA classroom, because this candidate can teach something to the class fellows. So that is how we gauge the interview also. And then admission test score, as you were saying earlier, you can take NTS, GAT, you can take GMAT, GRE, all three of them are acceptable. And we also understand that executives that we are looking for, generally they are very busy people also at their workplaces. And I mean, despite having great raw talent, sometimes they don't perform very well in the GMAT or GRE. So therefore we look at the comprehensive application. We look at the educational background, the grades in the academia, the work experience, the interview, and also the admission test.
Exactly. बिल्कुल सही Dr. Jajja, आपने सारा you have explained the entire admission criteria that we have put in place for the executive MBA. Again, as you said, you'll have to go for you'll have to go for only one exam. It could be GMAT, it could be GRE, or it could also be NTS CAT. It's entirely up to you. Then to be eligible to apply, you need to have 6 years of work experience. I believe that our average work experience is 11 to 12 years right now in the most recent conducted class. And then we take a very holistic approach towards evaluating your application. So it's not just one aspect of your of your application that we'll be considering. We'll be taking into consideration all the different aspects of your application. So however, you need to make sure that you do have 16 years of education before you apply for this program. Zara, I'm going to come to you. What should one really be focused at if they're considering to apply to LUMS for the executive MBA? I mean, what skills should one start working towards?
So I think the first thing that one needs to really devise before doing and planning to do this particular program is to set a schedule and a calendar. Routine is something that is extremely important. You need to be really, really hardworking, one, but prioritizing your time and your tasks is something very important, because this program is not like a regular program, but it's more or less for professionals who are also doing their job and who also have this program over the weekend. So if you ask me, my weekends were definitely dedicated to the MBA, the classes that I had to travel to from Istanbul to Lahore. So everything had to be prioritized, because at the end of the day, if things get out of your fingers in the very first 2 to 3 semesters, you've actually lost the entire game. So it's very important for everyone who wants to be a part of it to set a schedule. You need to be very privy of the time that you set aside, because again, there's a lot of extensive reading, and that's the reading that's actually framing you and preparing you into a person for a C-level position. So time management is extremely important. Again, prioritizing is very important. These are the two key things. If we get that straight in the very beginning, I don't think the program is difficult. Many people who have faced challenges is because they haven't really set a proper schedule, and when you go haywire, that's when you lose the grip. So I think these are the two important things that need to be taken into consideration.
Time management, of course, is very important, especially if you're pursuing a program like executive MBA. Again, you'll be working 5 days a week at your office, and then also over the weekends, and that too alternate weekends, by the way. But you'll still be coming to LUMS. Zara, I have a follow-up question, by the way. So we do say it's a program that is scheduled on alternate weekends. So that means that you'll be coming to campus this week, then the next week you wouldn't be coming to campus, you wouldn't have any classes, and then again the following week you'll have classes. Now in between these two weeks where you have to come to the campus, how much was the LUMS work? How much was the SDSB's work?
So technically, Amar, so if you ask me, so suppose if you were coming back from a weekend on Sunday to Islamabad, so Monday was the time, Monday to the next Monday, that is 2 weeks, was the time that we had to do the preparation for the upcoming week. Because this is a rigorous program, one needs to realize that it's an executive MBA, but it's like a shorter version that you're doing. And when it says it's only on the weekend, that puts a lot of pressure on, the students. So you have to prepare. So you have to start preparing on Monday for the weekend that's awaited. So my days were generally, our weekends, the weekends that we weren't attending the classes were the weekends when we would be finishing our readings and, making sure our assignments are in place, because that was the only 8 to 10 hour that we would actually get to, work on it. But then again, there were many other students who would start working and preparing for the coming lectures just 2 nights prior. So that's where they would come to us and ask us, hey, help us out. How do we do it? But I think from if you keep dividing your work in terms of, because there's extensive reading in this particular program, lots of readings, and that's where the skill development and the knowledge is actually being imparted. So if one, you have to have like a Monday to the next Friday calendar ready, just do one meetings at its time. But there wasn't, I can't remember a day that went, without reading. And a day that went without reading was something I felt, hey, there's something amiss. So that's
I
what
think
it is.
that is something that is a kind of trait that actually trains you for the entire life. Reading is extremely important for everyone.
Absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
not limited to just the business world. It could be about the economy. It could be about anything. So the fact that LUMS programs, and especially the executive MBA programs, trains you on those lines is something that is, I'm sure, something that you can reap benefits out of throughout your life.
Certainly. So I'd like to, so since Sir Jaja is also here, supply chain was something I'd been hearing all my life. So, when the first time I sat in his class, and I was like, it's a whole new world, because that was never something that I'm an HR person. So it never occurred to me that a supply chain could go so extensive. So, each and every subject that was taught in the executive MBA program had a true essence in terms of what there was behind it, the departments that have been set in organizations. Everything was very well managed and articulated.
Bilkul Sahi. Thank you so much, Zara. Chen, again, a question that you can answer from a student's point of view. How easy or difficult is the program? Please talk about your own life at LUMS. What does a normal LUMS day look like?
It's never be easy for me in this LUMS program.
I'm so happy that you're so candid in front of your teachers.
Yeah, no, I mean, first of all, is the language barrier. As a Chinese, all these readings, everything is in English, and for me, I have to open my dictionary all the time. I even got a translation pen, so I can just scan the paper and the words just came out. So because otherwise I'll keep on open the phone, typing Google translation. First, so the language barrier is the first difficulty I have to meet. And the second is the, EMBA is all about the people who already have work experience. So the time input is also a huge challenge for me because I have my own job here. I've been traveled from Karachi, Islamabad, Lahore all the time. So as Zara already mentioned, it's never been just a weekend class. It's like so many preparation and also the exam. There are a lot of take-home homework. So this is the difficult things for me. But it's good now. I used to hate reading English things because all I read is the contract or the bidding documents. I refuse to read more, other English books. But this EMBA gave me a lot of chance to get into, first of all, my English is improved a lot, which I really appreciate that. And yeah, and the second is like my knowledge about different industry also improve a lot. I really appreciate it. And I really think I made the right decision to join this LUMS program.
Exactly. Thank you so much. And Chen, again, a follow-up question with you. So you're primarily based out of Karachi right now?
No, I'm in Lahore. I just to Karachi to celebrate the Chinese New Year with our project team in Jamshoro. Yeah.
Then I'm going to keep the follow-up question to myself right now, for now at least.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Jaja, coming to you. Dr. Jaja, there are multiple ways to finance LUMS graduate programs. What are some of the ways in which we are trying to, play our part to make sure that people who are aspiring to join the executive MBA program and other programs at SDSB as well can, complete their programs with some financial support from LUMS?
Thank you, Amar. I think this is the most unique component of this program and all graduate programs at SDSB, that all females who are inducted in our graduate program, including executive MBA, get a 50% fee discount. And I think this makes this program the only program perhaps in the world in executive MBA that offers such kind of fee discount to encourage women participation in business education. Also, there are organizations that sponsor their employees. For example, Zahra, she came from PTCL. I don't know if she was funded by PTCL or not. I can't fully recall that. But there are organizations that sponsor their employees, PTCL, Bank of Punjab, Honda, packages, and others. They sponsor their employees.
One with Jazz as well.
Yes, yes. And thirdly, see, this program also offers MCB loan. So LUMS, once you get admitted, can connect you with MCB, and MCB gives you loans on quite favorable terms, I would say. And finally, I would say that executive MBA is for those who are already working, and they can sponsor their education to an extent, and those who can't, they can find sponsorship from their organizations. And some individuals are able to convince their organizations that this is an investment that the organization should be making on them, because the returns are huge and multiple for many years to come. So organizations sometimes enter into a contract with their employees, and they are willing to fund their MBA at LUMS. So these are some of the possibilities for executive MBA funding and sponsorship at LUMS.
Bilkul say, Dr. Jaja. You talked about the women's scholarship, which is exactly puts us in a very unique situation. As I always say, LUMS is probably the only university, or amongst the very few universities in the whole wide world, offering a 50% scholarship to women candidates joining the graduate program that Salman does School of Business, and that is again to fix or at least play our part in fixing the ratio where females are also holding higher level positions in their organizations. And also there is MCB student personal loan that Dr. Jaja talked about. And if you go for that loan, again, it becomes, it becomes payable after a certain number of months have passed. And then, in very easy installments, it becomes payable. Again, as Dr. Jaja, you mentioned that we sign MOUs with different organizations. We have as MOUs with Jazz, we have MOUs with PTCL, with Bank of Punjab. We have employees coming from Honda. And again, if you are interested in coming into an agreement with LUMS, that could be executive MBA specific MOU or any other program specific MOU, then again you can write to me at amar.salim@lums.edu.pk, and inshallah I'll connect with you and we could discuss the possibility of some sort of an arrangement between the two organizations. Right now, Dr. Jaja, I have a question from Noor. Sorry, not from Noor, from Mus. And the question is there collaboration between LUMS and other international universities? Now I believe we are partners with a couple, as LUMS, we are partners with more than 50 international universities. We have exchange program, understanding with these universities. But again, if you could talk about the SDSB collaboration, and also if you could refer to the globalization module that we have for the executive MBA and how it actually plays a role in giving, enhancing the exposure of our executives.
Thank you, Amar. Yes, so at LUMS level, we have many collaborations that you have pointed out, and at SDSB level also. And you have rightly pointed out globalization module. I can just describe what this module is, and then maybe I can invite Zahra or Chen, because both of them have been to globalization module, and they can share their own experiences, how it was for them. So a globalization module is something that we offer in second year of executive MBA. So you complete first year of MBA, and then between first year and second year during the summer break, we take our students to California, and they spend around 9-10 days in Silicon Valley, where they come across many entrepreneurs, large corporations and executives working in those corporations. They also meet Pakistani community there who have excelled, and they also come across many university faculty members coming from different universities, such as University of California, Berkeley, and Stanford, and a few more. So those individuals, faculty members, come and interact with our students. And students also work on a project in that time window. They come up with an entrepreneurship activity. They come up with a business that they conceive when they are there. They develop that idea with the input of faculty member who runs that globalization module in Silicon Valley, and input that they get from many other individuals that they come across there. So this is how the Silicon Valley trip that we call as globalization module is organized. Maybe Zara and then Chen can talk about how their experience was regarding this globalization module.
Exactly. Let's first go to Chen. Chen, how was yours module, when you went to the US? How did it change you?
Yes, so talk about the international module. I really like it. It's my first trip to America. I got the visa very long ago, but I didn't got the time. But this time we go with the LUMS classmate. It was a lot of fun. First of all, you spend the time, like the university time, you spend the class with them and start get up and cook by yourself. And the class, you get to meet a lot of outstanding Pakistani and also American who do entrepreneur in Silicon Valley. And after that, you got a chance to walk around the cities and go to the factory and also see how the business is going there. And a lot of new ideas come up every day. So it's like a total different experience. And you start to get close with your classmates actually more. And even after the trip, whenever we get together, people are still talking about the trip, like how much fun it was and what's the interesting things going on. So it's like the one of the best times during the EMBA for me. Yeah.
I think, it does give you, it must have given you a remarkable opportunity to connect with your class fellows in a different way, because now you weren't in the classroom situation. You were outside,
yes.
You were even out of the country and doing things for each other and all of that.
And even after the Silicon Valley trip, we go to the Grand Canyon with Zara and all the other 4 classmates. We drive all the way there and see the different view. It's an amazing trip. I really love it.
Tell us a few, Chen.
Yeah.
Zara, how was yours? How was your globalization module?
So I think Chen has sort of summed up our entire experience. So we were the ones who were the 4 very adventurous, classmates who made all the way to this Grand Canyon, and no one would accompany us except us. So yes, that's one part of it. And I really want to, back up what you just said, that when you're in a different setting, it's just that all of us are in the same manner, right? Otherwise, when we are in our own home countries, some of us were in Lahore, the others were coming from Islamabad and from other cities. So that's like a different version. But when you go travel to a new country or a different place, that's when you are all on the same level. That connection is something that, the classmates that with whom we went to the Silicon Valley, it was a totally different experience, of course. Learning was a very essential part. But then the second part that was very important for me, because I also have my own startup and I have also gone with an aspiration to start up a new project. And when I went there, the mentors that we met at the Valley were mentors who were actually working in that particular field that I wanted to, explore. And till today, those mentors, I'm connected with them. They are very, very supportive. So it's like a complete cohort that went. And those mentors we met there, they've been supportive, connected with us on LinkedIn. And they keep, every time you have a problem, you just send it to them and you get a reply right away. So for me, if I were to take away, something very important from the Silicon Valley, those were the connections, because those are people who you don't really randomly meet every day, but these are people that you get to meet on very, specific occasions. So this kind of a module helped us connect with them and connect with the industry best, of course. Their advice, their comments, everything is helping me, at least in my role and my new project.
And if I'm not wrong, there's quite a huge community over there of LUMS graduates.
Absolutely. The Pakistani, especially the startup community in the Valley, it was just great, So I do remember sharing with Sir Charcha that we weren't anticipating and expecting that. And the way they welcomed us, the way they had taken out actual time slots to interact with us, during the module, it was something that was, something really special, because you getting that preferential treatment only as students, and those are the people who are up there, running huge companies. So it was something really interesting. a very, very, great experience for me.
Bilkul, Bilkul. All right. Thank you, Zara. And when you were saying about visiting Grand Canyon and not many people, agreeing with you, I was just thinking, did you ask Dr. Jaja?
Sorry, no. I think
I'm
we
sure you
were
must
the
have
only
enjoyed.
four who sneaked out. So it was really interesting, during this entire program, because there were two batches that had gone together because of the corona restrictions. So after the classes ended, everyone had small cohorts, small groups that they started traveling in. So those connections were so rare that, I had never met Chen before. But in this trip, I was going all the way to a different place with him. So that those connections and networks, even now, we pick up the phone and be like, hey, remember we did this. So very, very fond and very interesting memories we all, I think, made there.
I'm sure. Bilkul. Again, Dr. Jaja, I'm going to come to you. I have a question that has come to us through social media. And there's another one as well, again, that is from Amara. She's asking 50% discount is for all the women candidates, or this 50% is conditional? Yes, the condition is that you have to be a women candidate who is accepted at LUMS, and that is the only condition. Accepted at LUMS SDSB for a graduate program, by the way. And then there's a question from Naveed. Naveed asks how the curriculum for Executive MBA is kept in sync with comparable international programs. Ji, Dr. Jaja.
Yeah, so this is a very good question, actually, Amar, and useful for everybody to know that our curriculum is, most of our curriculum, I would say 80-90% of our curriculum, and Zaira and Chen can talk about that too, comes from Harvard Business School Publishing. So Harvard Business School Publishing is the global, highly prestigious repository of teaching material. So all our teaching material, almost all of it, comes from Harvard Business School Publishing website. So we source the material from there, and that's very expensive to do. Therefore, many institutions don't do that, and we do it. And not only we source the material from there, we also create material for Harvard Business School Publishing. So our faculty members write case studies on Pakistani organizations and organizations outside Pakistan. And those case studies also become part of the curriculum and the teaching material. And that teaching material is taught in Executive MBA program, and also is available on Harvard Business School Publishing website. So that keeps our faculties access to internationally recognized and valuable teaching material, also aligning it with the local requirements by coupling the international teaching material with the local case studies developed by our own faculty. So I think this responds to what the question was.
Exactly. And Dr. Jaja, I'd like to add to it as well. When we talk about Executive MBA, when we talk about the business school at LUMS and LUMS in general, I can safely say that LUMS is the torchbearer of academic excellence in Pakistan, and we're also trying to make sure that we are considered, a benchmark organization, even when we talk about international organizations. Just to give you a fact, we have been top ranked by QS in terms of graduate employability in Pakistan. LUMS Executive MBA is the only ranked executive MBA on QS rankings in Pakistan. And also we are considered amongst the top 101 plus executive MBAs across the globe. So again, that is a huge accolade if we just talk about executive MBA specifically. And before we sign off, I'd like to remind you that we activated the online applications on 5th November 2021. As Dr. Jaja and I spoke about the testing requirements, there's only one exam that you will have to take. It could be GMAT, you could go for GRE. And if you don't want to go for either of the two, then you also have the option of preparing for NTS CAT. But please make sure that you are appearing by 29th May 2022. The deadline to apply online would be 7th June 2022, and the deadline to submit your supporting documents is 10th June 2022. So please make sure that you are creating your application as soon as possible. Please do not put your application on hold to the last day. Make sure you are sending us the documents online. We do not need to receive any mails. You do not have to come and hand deliver documents. All of them have to be uploaded to the application portal, and the application process has also been made quite easy as compared to how it used to be a couple of years back. And thank you very much for being with us. Thank you very much, Dr. Shakil. Thank you very much, Chen. And thanks to you, Zaira, for taking time out of your schedules, being with us. Thanks to all of the people who have stayed connected with us, to the backend team who provided extensive support to conduct successful Knowledge Week webcast series. And the one that we did for Salman Das School of Business was spread over 2 weeks, so it was a lot of work. And yeah, so also the for all the different programs that we're offering at the graduate level at SDSB, the webcasts have been done and their videos are available on our Facebook page. You can access them. Please do go browse the LUMS Facebook page and also www.lums.edu.pk for any information that you require with regards to our programs. Thank you once again. Take good care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.